Hi, I'm Joanna Ruth from Tarot with JoannaRuth.Online, and I teach spiritual literacy, and I'm also a therapist, Indigenous energy healing talk therapy. So here we are, enjoy the tarot. Hi everyone, I'm testing the sound, and to do that I thought I might just have a little brief moment of talking about my style of reading the tarot cards, because as a English teacher of many years now, it's really clear in my understanding that the text is what it is, and the text meets the mind that is reading the text. And so the same thing happens with the tarot. The layout of the cards determines, or should I say the spread determines the structure, and it's a little bit loud for my talking. How's that? The spread creates the structure, and then the cards fill in that structure to bring you the story. And then when you're reading the story, of course, the way that you understand the story, or way that you're interpreting the cards, is very much a meeting of the mind. So the story, the archetypal story that's being demonstrated through that spread structure, is essentially a slice or two of general humanity. And of course, every single person is going to look at a situation in a slightly different way. Perhaps if we all grew up in exactly the same family, were born on the same day, in the same place, with the same name, and the same genetics, and we were told all the same things, all the same experiences, then we might read it the same. Of course, people are going to have similar readings of things. I was listening to some tarot this morning, and now that I'm becoming more familiar with the cards, when the tarot reader says, oh, we have a Two of Cups in reverse, and then they interpret what the Two of Cups in reverse means to them, my brain is starting to say, well, hang on a second, because it might not be a romantic connection, it can just be a loving connection. So many people will interpret the cup suit as romantic love, or the reverse might be an attachment. You're too attached, you're starting something of attachment rather than of love. For me, I don't pigeonhole it like that. It's about the heart, right? So the cup suit for me now is about the heart, and the heart is about connection and relationship, and those connections and relationships can be all kinds of love. So my perspective is going to color the way that I read the cards, and my perspective is of being spiritually literate, of being non-judgmental. I don't do fear, not for very long. I don't hold grudges. I feel all my feelings and I process them. The ones that I don't like, I process them through and out very fast. I've created my methodology for that. That's how I do energy healing, indigenously trained talk therapy. It's highly effective because I needed my therapy to be highly effective. And so the way that I see the story that comes out in the spread, the way that I interpret the cards, the way that I interpret the reversals as well, is all going to be in line with my perspective on life, which is a modern person who has rejected and replaced a heck of a lot of foundational life understandings, and as I move through this world, and I'm opening myself up more and more for for being available to other people to share in what I've learned, I'm realizing how far away I have moved in terms of perspective compared to the general population. And I know whoever's watching this is not Gen Pop. Yeah, because if you've watched even this far of me blabbering on about my stuff, you're in the club, I think. Anyways, hopefully all of this came out really well. I'm going to turn this off and start the reading for the day. Hi, Joanna Ruth again. Let me tell you a little bit about what's available on my website. You can have your Soul Symphony report made for you, or you could link to my Substack. It's called Holding the Rails. If you're into a little bit of Yiddish culture like me, you could listen to me singing songs that I've written and have performed for you on YouTube. Also, there's English songs that I've produced, which you can find on the music page. And the pièce de résistance is the novel that I wrote at the end of 2025 to help you understand spiritual literacy the way that I understood it. It's called Malena Valley, and you can also do coursework on my school channel, which is called Spiritual Literacy ED. Hope you have fun with it. Bye. Good morning or afternoon, maybe it's evening where you are. I am Joanna Ruth and I'm back for another learning tarot session. Learning to be fluent in tarot, that's my goal. Something I have created in the last day or two is a tarot spreads little deck of cards. So I have blank cards. They're not very thick, but they'll do. So in the theme of everything being on a card size, I have a growing collection of tarot spreads. And as I am inspired, I will add to it, which is what we're going to do today. We are going to talk about what the heck is happening now with him. And this is inspired by the fact that I just saw something happen in my everyday life that was quite unusual. And when I see things that are a little unusual, it's a bit of a steamy day today, so put this mop on top of my head. When I see something a little unusual in my everyday life, I'm always looking for patterns, you see. So when I see something unusual, I think about it. And tarot is a way for the undefined to become a little bit more defined. Of course, I'll read the spread as it is and I'll take from it in the back of my mind as I need to. But do keep in mind, this is one that I'm asking for information about a certain person who just popped in a random, non-specific way. So let me put the pack aside. I'll reorientate you so you can see the desk, and hopefully it will all be good. So make sure my light is in the right spot for you. So this is what we're going to do. We're doing, the first card is what he reflected on, like in the past short while. What decisions is he making? What actions is he changing? And what's he asking for? Much of which may have nothing to do with me. Let's see what the story is, because that's what tarot is all about, and that's what human life is all about, story. So I was talking to a friend of mine about tarot the other day, and they said, oh, do you believe in it? And it's like, well, I sort of see it as, I don't have to believe in it. The stories are what the stories are. I suppose it comes down to, do I trust that the undifferentiated world can communicate to us via things that we observe in the world, and I think it's very much so. I test it out and have been doing so for 18 years. I've had things happen in my life that I could not have made up. The stories I can tell. And sometimes I do. I told a lot of those stories in my novel. My novel, it's called Malena Valley, Dreaming the Village. It's not quite published yet, but maybe when you're watching this it might be. So it's like a story that has nested stories within it, and so I put myself into the book as an absent character who left some stories behind that are then read out in the present day of the novel. And that's how I was able to share some very profound things that had the pennies dropping for me. So we have 4 cards to pull out, and the first one is because we want to know what the heck is happening now with him. So what did he reflect on? Now if you want to use this spread, feel free. I just made it up about 2 minutes ago. And it doesn't have to be him. It could be her, it could be them, it could be lots of them. Oh, we have 2 cards. We have the 4 of Pentacles. Then we have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Lots of pentacles. Very physical world thinking, reflections and decisions. I am, however, getting to know the cards a little bit better, so thanks for that. We have the 6 of Swords, which is changing actions. Moving forward, that is. We have the last one, which is, oh, this was upside down, so it's in the reverse. It's the Knight of Cups. So the Prince Charming, which is really interesting because it's what is he asking for? And because I know this person a little, I can tell you already that he already has the Knight of Cups within him. So maybe he wants to turn that upside down. Okay, so let's have a look. The 4 of Pentacles is about a physical world, the world of things that you can touch and smell and taste and talk about really easily in our society. A lot of people think Pentacles is just money and wealth, and it is in a sense, but it's Pentacles is really the earthly, the earth realm. In terms of how secure we feel, often we do get that security from our earthly wealth. It doesn't have to be money. It can be just what we have. So the 4 of Pentacles really is that sense of security. It's like a stable platform, stable foundation. It feels like that. It doesn't mean that it is, but it feels that way. There is a fear of risk. Yeah, so you're leaning into more stability. You don't want to take risks. You feel like you have what you need, but you don't have everything because it's only the 4 of the Pentacles. It's not all the way up at the 10. So it's kind of like, I have what I think, I have enough, but maybe you yearn for more, but too bad. You're in the 4, which is I'm safe, I'm secure, because you've been through the inspiration, you've been through the 2 of Pentacles where things are coming into fruition, and then you have a celebration of things blossoming in the 3, and then okay, I have enough now. And that's what the 4 is about. Okay, it was hard work. You know, the first 3 were hard work. We're here, let's just sit on it. It's kind of like when you're playing the game Pontoon or 21. It's like you say, no, I'm just going to sit on this. I'm not changing anything. If you want to see what I've got, you got to put enough money in the pot. So that's what he's reflecting on. Perhaps life thus far has been quite enough work. And what have we got? Holding on to so holding on to what you have is what he's reflecting on. So if you're holding on to something like for dear life, then the likelihood is that you is that better no, it's not any better. I'm just wondering if you can see the cards better if I tilt the light a bit like that. You probably can see them a bit better because they don't shine so much. That might be better, huh? So this card really is I've done enough, I've worked hard, and I'm just going to sit on it. Now, if you're doing that in a very strict manner, without question, in my thinking, you're going to have a fear. You're definitely going to have a fear of losing it. And maybe you have lost some of it before. Maybe whatever it is that is associated to what you're thinking about, the bigger picture situation for you might be reminding you of something that's happened previously in a similar situation or even a same kind of situation. I think that's pretty reasonable to say. So now let's have a look at the making of decisions. Now this is the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So when it's not in the reverse, it's kind of like you're hanging on to the two things that you're creating. So the One of Pentacles is this inspiration coming into fruition, and then the Two of Pentacles is like, okay, I know I've got these two things, which one's more important? I don't want either of them to go away. I'm just kind of juggling them a bit, seeing where the balance is. So you're keeping things all moving. It's the movement of the resources, and the way that you move them is according to how you judge your priorities of these things. So you're very much focused on how much maybe time and attention you give each of the things that you perceive you have. It's in the reverse though, which means you're probably fearing that you won't keep them moving. That if whatever is happening now for you, the big picture, what's happening now, you're thinking about sitting on your resources, and then you're trying to make decisions between this one and that one, and this one and that one, and you do not feel very secure in knowing your priorities between the two. I mean, if it was upright, you'd have a pretty good understanding of which of these two things, or even more things that you have, you're going to pay attention to. You can organize them, put them in hierarchies of need and importance and all of that stuff. But if it's upside down, you're having trouble with all of that. And this is what you're trying to make decisions on. But how do you make decisions if you're hanging on to something because you're essentially going to fear loss of it, and then you don't know which one's more important? I mean, maybe you're deciding between putting your focus on work, or if I put focus on work and I leave this relationship that I might want to have on the side and just don't give it any attention, maybe it won't be there. The opportunity will be lost. Or maybe I should just go and do some personal development and forget about both of those. Or how do I keep it all running at the same time? And this is a really hard position to be making decisions, and maybe there aren't any decisions being made because in this situation I don't think I'd feel like making many decisions. And so maybe you do have to keep juggling them until you feel more secure to make a decision. What kind of actions are you going to change? Well, the Six of Swords is all about your thoughts, and it's all about escaping. You really do want to choose the calmness, but it's not necessarily that you've worked out all your troubles that you've been thinking about and trying to make decisions on. You really just want to escape. That's what you want to do. You want to run away. You're trying to heal. Yeah, this is the action of escaping for the purpose of changing your thought environment, your thought directions, your ability to heal. And obviously, from the previous two cards, there is something to heal. The fact that you can't work out what your priorities are means you don't have enough information from within yourself. And the fact that you're reflecting on what you have and not wanting to lose what you have, therefore hanging on to it, you have some healing to do. And so your action is really, you just need time. You need to be able to change your environments so that you can change, your triggers are different. If you're triggered, and a lot of this sort of stuff means that you have some reminders going on, some triggering going on. You can be triggered by information that reminds you of an emotion. You can be triggered by an emotion that reminds you of information. Because they are sticky to each other. And if the action that you want to take is to just time, I need to go. I need clarity. I need to find the clarity. I need the calm to find the clarity. And that's what this card is about. You know, this guy has popped his wife, so-called, you can't see. Looks like a man, looks like a woman, looks like a child. So it's just a little family unit in the boat with all the thoughts. See how all the thoughts, they're all stuck in the boat. This is not a good idea. Not particularly a good idea to put your swords standing up. But the direction that they are, up and down, feels like no movement of thought. And so the action is to take all those thoughts that have built up over the progression from 1 through now to 6 here, take all of them into a different place and see. I suppose you're going to see if you can change something. So there is potential here in changing the way that you think. Okay, what is he asking for? So this is the card. Let me show it to you the right way up, and then we'll say it's we'll say what it is in the reverse. Okay, so it's a character card, which means the Knight of Cups is the Prince Charming character. Now he moves from being a romantic kind of guy to being an unreliable kind of guy. And in this case, he's in the reverse. What is he asking for? He's not asking for a Prince Charming. He's not asking for someone to come in and fix it. Perhaps he needs to move. Maybe, see, the Prince of Charming is very much in his imagination. It's all romantic. It's all fire and motion. It's fast. Fast getting lost, losing yourself in fantasy, lots of escaping, being charming and creative, seeking and following dreams, but in the reverse now. So what I'm feeling from this card in the reverse is that he needs, or he's asking to not fall into this. He's asking for quite the opposite. He's asking for not losing himself in fantasy. He's taking his swords so that he can maybe sit down in another environment, take a good look at them and pull them out of this boat so they don't, make him sink all the time. And he's asking for the ability the character opposite to the Knight of Cups. Because, to be honest, in knowing this person, he often is the Knight of Cups. It's his method of escapism is being the Knight of Cups, being the Prince Charming. I think he is Prince Charming within his own self as well. So he takes himself into an emotionally, it's kind of sort of unreliable, really. It's unreliable, it's inconsistent, and I believe from experience this person would know that this kind of romantic escapism is not something that's going to get him what he wants. So in the fact that we have here, what he's reflecting on is things of the physical world, and he's hanging on for dear life. He wants to make decisions based on this or that in his life. He's not able to make any decisions because he's not able to do the judgment of the priorities, the importance and the urgency is very confusing at the moment. The actions that he's taking is to escape from the triggering environments and try to find a little bit of a harmonious environment where it doesn't trigger him, which is very sensible. And he's asking for assistance of a more pragmatic nature. And perhaps he doesn't know who that character is, but he doesn't want to fall into being Prince Charming and overlooking what the real issues are. These are the real issues. He's taking the real issues away into a harmonious space so that he can think about those thoughts. I think that's a really, really interesting read so far. Shall we get some qualifying cards? I'm just going to shuffle again. This seems to be what I do. I feel like when I shuffle, I'm connecting with the undifferentiated. You might call it God. I used to call it the everyness. Sometimes now I just call it Mum. Mum's out there with the undifferentiated everyness. I feel like when I shuffle, it's like a way of saying through me that I'm asking the undifferentiated to take a look what order everything's in, because we're going to start communicating again. And so because I've already taken 4 cards out of this pack, I want the God force to take stock, do a stock take of what we're working with now so that clear communication can happen. Thank you very much. Here we are. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for a clarifying card for each one. Sometimes I get 2 that come out and they're just going to sit underneath here. And maybe we'll get a little bit more information about what those pentacles are that he's hanging on to. Maybe we can ask for that. What are those pentacles? What's the flavor of the pentacles that he is feeling like he could lose them and therefore is hanging on? Whoop. Okay, that's really interesting. So this is the 5 of Swords in the reverse. So in the upright, it is an awful card. It's all about tyranny. It's a shake-up, it's a shift, it's to do with the thoughts, it's an unfair battle, it's an abuse of power, it's cruelty. So really, this is, it's a smug attitude, it's not playing fair, no one wins, but it's in the reverse, which means it is about fairness. It's about equality. It's about compassion, because it's not about cruelty. It's about not being like this. It's about not being tyrannical. That's what he is worried about, losing his things. Maybe the tyranny has to stop. he's reflecting on his physical world life and how the tyranny has to not be there. Perhaps part of his fear has caused him to be in the Five of Swords energy, and now he realizes that won't cut it anymore. I'm asking for another card for that first one. We have a life-altering decision, a choice, a commitment to a decision, a promise of some kind of love, which is really interesting with the background that I know. I'm not going to share the background, but I do believe that there is, in terms of, this is what he's reflecting on. He's reflecting on his physical, earthly life and what he has in his world. And he's thinking about the flavors of it is the Five of Swords in reverse. So it's the reverse of the tyranny. It's the reverse of the cruelty, paired with the Lovers, which is about making a commitment to an ongoing future way of living life. So maybe this is how life used to be lived, and it can't be lived like that anymore if this is going to exist in his life. Thinking about, if these are the pentacles, the tyranny and the control cannot exist anymore if he wants to have a commitment to having love in his life, having relational love in his life. Okay, so let's have a look at the making decisions. The Two of Pentacles is that he's not finding balance. He's not holding his earthly world things very securely. And here we have the Devil, which is not to be judgmental about what the Devil is. I mean, it looks like a horrific card, doesn't it? It says, oh, says the Devil down there. The Devil is, think of the Devil as a position that you're in. It's a devilish position because you're restrained, you're captive, you're remaining stuck, but it isn't actually forever. No state of thinking or being is forever because everything is in movement. So this Devil card really is talking about what you believe is going to determine how you feel in your life and how you perceive yourself to be in life. So perhaps this, I don't know what's important, I don't know what I should do first, I don't know what I should be giving my time to, is being restricted by a belief. Maybe he believes he's not free to choose one over the other. And maybe he does need to work out how to get that freedom. Ooh. And I wasn't really moving on to the next card yet, so I think we're getting two for each one. Looks like it, doesn't it? And we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is evaluation. You have to wait now to see what's going to happen. So you are restrained, you're captive, but you're held captive by your own thinking, your own perspectives and beliefs, which you can shift if you want to. These are the decisions that need to be made. And once you do make those decisions, the test is bearing the journey that it takes to live through those decisions. So it's a hard test, and you have to believe in your decisions, and you will have a question in your mind whether your decision to have freedom or captivity, whatever decision you make, whatever belief you decide to live through, you don't know what's going to come from that. You have to wait and see. In the physical world, you're going to see evidence of that. Now, let's go on to changing actions, and let's get some clarity about perhaps these swords, these thoughts that he is taking into a calmer environment. In an untriggered state, perhaps he's going to make some changes. So the first one we have is the Knight of Swords in the upright. It is a very fast moving motion of thought. So it's ambition, unwavering determination. He can become a little careless, but he's not in the reverse. So there is a risk of being a bit ruthless, but essentially he's a can-do thinker, working at lightning speed, sometimes causing a bit of damage. So there might be a bit of upheaval that comes. He wants glory, he's on a mission, and he's impulsive. Okay, so that's kind of like the style. Once he gets to this calm place, he's not going to go slowly. We have the Six of Pentacles. So this is the second card. I'll move this over a little bit. The second card, which is, again, it's a very positive card. It's about earthly things, about the world of things and stuff. And it is about balance and generosity and equal give and take and making sure everyone has what they need, which is a bit of a socialist sort of card. It's a redistribution card, and it is about success in life. So very, very fast. The changing of actions is to go into an untriggered space and put all of your energy into attending to these thoughts that are up here. And your goal, obviously, is the Six of Pentacles, which is your earned harmony. You are free to change these thoughts with this uncompromising action, swift can-do feeling for the purpose of finding nice, comfortable balance. Doesn't that sound nice? So that seems to be the intention of the actions, the flavor of those changing actions. Now we're coming into the I don't want to be Prince Charming. So what's the opposite of Prince Charming? What do you want to be? You don't want to fall into fantasy. You obviously want some reality. We have the Eight of Cups. Well, that's a very nice card. So the Eight of Cups is about relations, yeah? So love relations. It is about choosing yourself. Choose now and choose yourself. No waiting. And it is about letting go. So he is walking away. So just when I'm reading this card, I'm looking at the cups. There's a lot of cups and there's a lot of water in the card. Can be a little choppy around those rocks, huh? And he, I think in the robe is he. It doesn't really matter that it's a he or not. He's made a decision to walk away. So in walking away, it's like a breaking away. So making a choice, a distinct choice to diverge from the old emotions, because perhaps some of these previous cups have not been so satisfactory. And perhaps that is connecting to why the Four of Pentacles is on his mind, in terms of he doesn't have all the pentacles. He doesn't have 10 of Pentacles or 9 of Pentacles. He hasn't reached a threshold to level up. He hasn't even got the great abundance feeling of the 9 of Pentacles. He has the 4. The 4 is going to satisfy his basic needs, and he doesn't want to have that sacrificed. But he also doesn't want to be a tyrant. He doesn't want to be cruel. He doesn't want this situation of neediness to encourage cruelty anymore. He wants these connections. He wants to live not for the basic needs of life, working just to pay your bills and feed yourself. He's reflecting on how life is for the relational commitments and what comes from those love, all different kinds of loving. So over here with the Eight of Cups, there is a distinct flavor of how he wants this help to come in. He wants help to be able to turn his back on the way he has done these feeling relationships, these connections in the past. And what's the second card that flavors what he wants help with? Maybe there is one. I don't know. It seems pretty clear that he really just does need to turn his back on the way that he's done things before in those relationships. And those swords, in the Six of Swords, in terms of what he's changing. Oh, there it is. Oh, many. We have the Magician. Oh gosh, there's 4 of them. We have the Emperor. We have the reverse Queen of Cups, and we have 3 of Cups. Should we go through those? So this is, let's just see what this story is and see how it fits in up here. I'll move this over here so you can see them a bit. So the Magician can manifest into life anything. He has all the skills to do it. The Emperor is an authority that's very fatherly, in a good way, in a really positive way. He's really accountable, and he's a real protector. He's really supportive and really stable, and he can handle weighty responsibilities. And then we have the Queen of Cups, who goes from a nurturing feminine character that's caring and supportive to being a little smothering on the other end of the scale. It's the emotional availability, but it's in the reverse. It's in the reverse, which means there's less emotional availability, maybe too much protection. Let's just say too much emotional protection. So perhaps if it's something that is desired, then it's like not to have too much emotional protection, because you won't feel your feelings. If you're being smothered and you're being too protected from feeling things, you won't be able to walk away because you won't know what they are. And then we have the 3 of Cups, which is family, community, circle of friends. It's contributions. Everyone's contributing differently but equally. It's all about support. It's all about growth. And I think here we're looking into making something new happen in this very secure, fatherly manner, without bypassing the emotions, and ending up with really beautiful, supportive, loving community. And all he has to do is make the decision to be more rational and less emotional, and walk away from what's been holding him back and the old ways of doing things. I think that's very sage advice. So, thanks for being with me. It's been another good spread. And as I learn to be fluent in tarot, I hope it's enjoyable for you to learn maybe along with me, and at the same time, hopefully you appreciate my perspective on life. It comes from a lot of healing, a lot of healing. So be well. If you want to see what else I do lots of different things. This is my hobby. I work as a teacher, I do emotional healing, energetic emotional healing with traditional Indigenous talk therapy, and I teach spiritual literacy. I have a novel coming out somewhere in the first quarter of 2026. I have coursework that goes with it for people who like to have a bit of a book club feel, and that's all about spiritual literacy and building your understandings of an Indigenous perspective, which is where I believe we need to move forwards but back into as well. So thanks for coming on my journey with me. Let me know anything you want to let me know of down below, and I'll see you again. Ciao, ciao. Hi, I'm Joanna Ruth, and this is your doorway to spiritual literacy. Why not come on in and learn some foundations together?